Hi friends! Have you ever written something and at the time you're like really proud of it, so you share it with everyone and they're supportive, but then you revisit it later and you're like, yikes. Like, not just yikes, but like, who was I? Well, same for... Well, same friend. So I mentioned in my previous video that I wrote a pilot script for Captain Moriah's Map of the World, largely in response to a call from Frederator for short cartoons. They had many stipulations. Some of them were subjective, like characters that you want to be or be with. Some of them were objective, like 4 minutes in length or less. And then there were things that were in between, like they said it should have a little bit of PG-13 humor, even though it was mostly geared towards kids. Well, today I have a video for you where I gathered 2 actors and we read my old script. Don't worry, I know it's still COVID times, but we actually have been kind of quarantining together because if you live in New York long enough, you form an artist colony. It just happens. So enjoy the following video. And it's okay to laugh at me. I'm laughing at me too, at my writing, my little drawings. Because thankfully, I think in those 5 years since I wrote this, I've grown a lot as a writer, and I'm really proud of what I've come up with now. So it's just kind of a fun little exercise in retrospect. Enjoy! Sorry, 2 more updates. One, I'm not saying I did something, but I put chai concentrate in eggnog and I maybe did something. Second update isn't really an update, it's more of a disclaimer. I'm sorry about the audio in the following reading. I have a plan how to fix it in the future. I just unfortunately couldn't refilm this whole thing, so it is what it is. It's still audible. There just might be a little bit of buzzing, but there are also illustrations, so that's something. Okay, enjoy.
Today, I am joined by 2 actors I've worked with before. This is Andrew and Natalya. They've both done readings for me. Natalya did a table read of a musical that I wrote, and Andrew did, it was like a round circle table read of a play that I wrote a few years ago. I got absolutely roasted on my birthday. Today, we are going to self-roast by taking a look at this script that I wrote 5 years ago. So this is a very different piece. I'll just read stage directions. You're going to read Captain Moriah. Today, I don't want to be reading either of the main characters, so I'm going to have Andrew read Benny.
So excited.
You're also really good at character voices, so
I tried.
he's going to be reading...
I've been told I'm also reading the Magnet.
The Magnet Leader,
okay.
and Dwee.
Great.
Yes.
Cool.
Potential spoiler alert.
Although, again, I have not read this. I have not looked at this.
So, you'll see I also had little sketches because I had to do a beatboard for the pitch. A beatboard's about a third of the drawings that you would find in a storyboard. Alright, Captain Moriah's Map of the World, an animated short. The Tesleon airship tumbles through the air over the ocean. Captain Moriah McCaw, 19, stands at the helm, furiously trying to regain control of the ship. Hang on, guys in coils! Benny and Dwee hang tightly to each other as the Tesleon plummets toward a beach and skids into the sand. Benny, Dwee, and Moriah are thrown from the ship. The wheel of the Tesleon falls onto the beach. that direction, which this is the drawing, that right there, that detail, I don't know if this plot is staying in, I don't know if that element's staying in, but my god. Yeah, that's something that I kind of wanted to work in somehow, where she has this crow named Lookout, but it's really just a parrot.
The crow's name is Lookout.
No.
Excellent.
I thought it'd be funny if he says his name a lot, so he's just like, look out! And she's always like, what? Yeah, it was but then which came first, the name or the the thing that they were shouting? Yeah, and he just kind of chills in the crow's nest, but
That's
he's
good. It's like duck. Whoa.
duck. Yeah. Moriah springs up. Benny. Location. Benny sits up and rubs her head.
Uncharted territory, I think.
Perfect. We've been in chartered territory for ages. Moriah walks a little further into the island. Benny checks her instruments. They are just bananas. Moriah stumbles upon a solid gold, bloody hat wedged into some rocks.
It's hard to say because my compass is pointing up.
To herself, of the hat. Nice.
Theory. The Cyan Typhoon covered 97% of our world in liquid. Land masses reacted differently to this phenomenon. Some became radioactive, some got rivers of blood. This island is afflicted with strong electromagnetic forces.
Can you tell me why? Like, part human, part robot became English. I love that choice.
Okay, so I relate everything I do to everything I've ever seen in pop culture. And so, this whole being thrown together, I immediately go to Star Wars.
Yeah.
And I immediately go to C-3PO, and then I immediately go to K2 from Rogue One. He's robotic and he's intellectual, but he's also super snarky and blunt.
Okay.
And then on top of that, the whole thrown together aspect of it, we kind of have to throw a little bit of William Shatner in there to get like kind of
The programming's a little bit jittery. I mean, I feel like we associate like a stiff British accent with like order, and that kind of like correlates to programming in robots. So even if it is like, I like that it's like you got the programming, but also like the William Shatner Joel. So we just left off where
the island is afflicted with strong electromagnetic forces.
Moriah is wearing the hat.
I love how you explain things like we've never heard them before. I like that about you, Dwayne.
That was my way of being like, I'm acknowledging that I just dumped a lot of exposition on you.
I appreciate when a cartoon is meta.
Okay.
Where it's like, you know.
Dwee starts vibrating violently.
Does anyone feel?
Dwee goes still.
Dwee!
Then he runs over to him.
Dwee, stay with me!
Whoa, dude. Walk much?
Dang it, he's not working.
Have you tried turning him off and turning him on again?
Turning him on?
Okay, this joke was thrown in there because I saw like them put like, we're aiming like more like PG-13, and I was like, shoot. Adult joke. Moriah opens Dwee's chest cavity, which is filled with gears. Water gushes out. A jellyfish crawls out of the gears and squishes away to the water.
Huh. Captain, what the Graham Bell are you wearing?
Island swag.
You're on a fast track to a slow and cursed death.
Probs. Grab Dwee and let's find the inhabit. A horde of magnet monsters emerge from the forest.
I told you to get out.
Oh, there you are. Greetings. I'm Captain Moriah McCaw. My crew and I have been commissioned to remap the world after the Cyan Typhoon. We'll be in and out with a spark, no harm done. Benny, head of our FAQs.
Captain?
Now, what do you call this illustrious slab of sand?
Captain! Kill the intruder.
Seriously? We already have, like, 4 places named that.
The magnet leader becomes horrifying.
Now we run.
Now we fight!
Moriah pulls out her Albaton.
What is an Albaton?
An Albaton is like this, like picture a paper towel tube.
Okay.
But it's got like a multi-tool inside of it.
Oh,
So
fun.
So
Okay.
it's like a more literal version of the sonic screwdriver in Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Sonic screwdriver.
yeah, it's like that, except like you add a lot of stuff to it so you can customize it.
Sure.
So one of the ideas is that as Moriah goes to these different islands, she will acquire things from them, and then you
Yeah.
see those tools used later in later episodes.
I see.
Oh, that's lovely.
I'm
It's
not-
like a lovely little callback that's like an Easter egg for
Yeah.
somebody, but you don't like, but you could jump into an episode and not need that information.
Yeah.
It adds layers.
I'm not super familiar with the sonic screwdriver word from Doctor Who, but like I'm imagining Moriah like finding a crowbar
Mm-hmm.
and like sticking it in there, and then it's like a thing that she pulls out the Albaton, and there's like twisted in a certain way, and the crowbar pops out, and she can use that for
Yes.
stuff.
Exactly.
I love
That's
that.
fabulous.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
And I agree, it's something that you can call back to like later on. It's like I've had this thing for so long. What is it for? And then it's like, oh, I see. And now I'm using this. This spear or something like in season 3 when it got in season 1. Just never used it.
Yeah.
It sounds really dynamic in terms of the details that you could shift out, but also like from a design standpoint, like trying to picture this in terms of animation, like it would look really cool.
Yes, agreed.
I think so too. I think it gives it that little extra flair in action sequences. Like a lot of my animation inspiration comes from anime. I love the movement in anime. I love the angles, and I love that everything is beautiful in anime, even if it's grotesque. It's beautiful, and just like the way anime does action sequences, where everything is very very big and everything is very dynamic, I think that this would be a cool way to call back to that. If somebody has these weapons where it just starts as this little thing on your hilt and then you pull it out and suddenly it's this larger than life scythe or like umbrella, that kind of thing.
Yeah, you're also seeing you see in anime, and you're starting to see it in Western animation too, this 2D animation, and then you have 3D stuff on top of it, which is really cool.
True.
And I think it works especially well with the steampunk landscape.
Yeah. Cool. I'll have to just like type all of that out and send it to the animators when I get to that stage.
Yes. Please make this as extravagant and three-dimensional as possible.
In a flash of sparks, Moriah's Albaton explodes into all of its hidden gadgets at once.
Fool me twice. Yeah, my bad.
The magnet monsters surround them.
Now we run! We run!
Benny and Moriah carry Dewey on their shoulders as they run through the forest.
I can see the advantages of the cardiovascular route.
It's not the land, it's them. There's some kind of screwy electromagnetic mutations. That's why nothing's working.
Dude, I didn't catch, like, any of that.
We don't have time! They're incredibly hostile and... Oh!
Benny stares at the hat.
I told you to get out.
Then he yanks the hat off of Moriah's head.
Everyone wants my swag.
That's it! The dude who wore this hat probably offended them, and now they think you're him because they can sense our metal content.
Moriah takes the hat back from Benny.
Get me to the ship. I got this.
Moriah uses the hat to lure the magnet horde onto the beach Tesleon. When she reaches the bow, she chucks it into the ocean and ducks. The monsters launch themselves into the ocean after the hat and disintegrate into a cloud of sparks. Benny lugs Dewey back to the bow.
Are they gone?
Yep. Moriah approaches Dewey.
Rise and shine, you nut.
Moriah kicks Dewey. He whirs and comes back to life.
Do I want to know what happened?
Moriah clicks her Albaton and it becomes a hammer.
You want to fix our ship.
Aye.
Moriah points to her eye patch.
Just one eye will do.
Womp womp.
Dewey wordlessly slinks off to the ship's hull with the hammer.
I wonder what that guy did to them.
Who?
The original owner of the gold hat.
Oh, yeah. Swag master.
I mean, what if he was the bad guy?
And it's a good thing he's dead, too.
The ship pitches backwards and hovers in the air. Moriah and Benny stumble.
Whoa!
Oh, no, it's just Benny. I was so engaged with the drawing of the stumbling.
Oh, yeah.
Dewey returns from the hull and catches Benny. He drops the hammer at Moriah's feet.
Done.
Moriah clicks the wheel back into place and springs into action.
Benny, direction.
Looks like we need to head east.
East it is. All right, soldiers. Let's discover the world.
The Tesleon flies away from the island. Fade to Benny's sketch of Magnet Isle on her map, titled Captain Moriah's Map of the World. Fade out as Moriah's theme plays.
Yes.
Do they add new things to the map at the end of every episode?
Yes!
That's exciting.
Cool.
It's like a good little continuity thing too. Like, oh yeah, I've been there. Yeah. And then like you can kind of have a visual aid for each episode. Like, oh, I haven't seen that one. Like ideally they're tied through, but they're episodic enough that you could just jump in and see anyone.
I like that balance really well in animated series where you get the contained story, but you also like get a sense of development over time.
Yeah, that's the goal, because I think that that's a really effective way of telling storytelling, especially for younger audiences.
And I don't know how detailed the map is or can get, but the great thing about it, and the great thing about filling in a new place of every episode is you can, like, when you look at a map, or when you look at, like, a GPS on your phone, the more and more that you scroll inward, the more things appear. So a lot of the time, you're looking at a bigger picture, but sometimes there are things that lie within the things that you've already filled out. You know, with a map, it's great because you're familiar with the world as a whole, but then there's like, oh, what about this little thing? what about this little thing that I haven't discovered yet? And it's like within the places that you've already discovered. So it's cool.
I feel like too that idea of visualizing a map and even having a character that's drawing the map gets kids interested in things like cartography, or like if they go on a road trip and like their parents have a map or whatever, like whatever relative or friends is like.
Maps are cool, man.
Yeah, exactly. And it like engages them, and it also like teaches them that exploring the world can be cool and fun.
Yeah.
So this draft was fun reading through because I can also see how you don't really get a whole lot of the character stuff that I talked about from just this text, I think I relied a lot more on one-liners.
Yeah, I think you get like a little bit of a sense of how they operate. Like Moriah's like adventuresome and like willing to get in there, and Benny's more hesitant.
Mm-hmm.
But it kind of feels like it's just like two sides of the coin. You don't really get like the dimension beyond that.
Very much
And then
so.
Dwee's, just like magnetized for.
Right. Whereas now one of my favorite things about writing and developing the episode in the series is actually the dynamics between the three of them and how the three of them are interacting with each other. I think Benny and Moriah have a fun way of interacting with each other and are kind of two sides of the same coin in some ways. And then Benny and Dwee have a really lovely friendship that I wanted to explore a lot more and show more of, because I think people could be really interested in that and how that develops beyond just the pilot. Whereas you unfortunately don't get any of that here, where he's just kind of out of it.
Yeah.
And you also kind of come away, I think, feeling like Moriah doesn't care about anything. How are we supposed to know that
She
she's
is like pretty flippant about everything. I think that's where a lot of the one-liners come in. I like the idea of seeing a children's television character that is like, like I said before, like super gets in there. But yeah, in terms of her relationships with the people in her crew, like seeing that connection, even if she's got some walls up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but what about the development of the Lookout? I think we can just cross that Captain Ryan and just put Lookout.
Lookout's map of the world.
You can tell a lot about a character in the way that they develop by just their first line. And I totally agree with the fact that we see that Moriah is very flippant about stuff. Just by like her first line is "Hang on, guys in coils," which is very much a joke in the first line.
Yeah.
And
there's peril happening.
Yeah.
But she's also joking.
Exactly right. But that tends to be her attitude through the rest of the pilot, is just being like, I'm just gonna skip over everything and we're good. So I mean, like. Yeah, I mean, maybe you could. I feel like Moriah has so much more of an internal monologue based on what I've through this whole pilot, based on what I've seen, and so I feel like, yeah, that could probably be, I guess, proof of fun, I suppose.
Yeah. Anyway, well, thanks so much, guys, for joining me.
You're so welcome. Thank you for asking us.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and check out all of the other really cool things that Midnight Oil has on its channel. And I will see you in the next video. Bye!